about Jennifer is that when she was a little girl, she was out playing by my dad's work trailer, and she went and somehow the trailer fell on her foot and smashed her toe wide open, and they had to stitch it back together, and then from then on it had a big hump on it, so we'd call it her Quasimodo toe, because at that time the Hunchback of Notre Dame Disney movie was out. So we always made fun of her quasi-toe.
Cute little memory of Keaton would be in elementary school. He would write on his papers, because he was frustrated with his own name, he'd write Little Ben or Cowboy Jack. He'd sign, and the teacher would struggle with trying to figure out who these people were.
So my memory of Jennifer goes clear back to birth. When she was first born, she slipped through the doctor's hands and landed right in the trash. So we always call her our trash baby. Although she's far from trash, it's just a cute little story. And she was fine. She had a little bump on her head and the doctor was really embarrassed. But that was a fun way to have her come into the world.
One time, Keaton really didn't want to clean his room. And so he decided to hide in the blanket closet. And he hid really good because nobody could find him. Not even the police that we had to call because we thought he was missing.
Okay, there's a couple memories I have of Jenna. The one that sticks out the most is when we were in Universal Studios, and she was going to the bathroom, or walking towards the bathroom, and singing I Gotta Go. I thought it was about the bathroom, but she said it was about shopping, so.
Is my hair still good? This is certainly not my favorite memory with Keaton, but one of my most memorable. I was helping him use the restroom, and he was too young and unable to reach the urinal. So being the amazing big brother that I am, I hoisted him up so that he was able to reach, but instead of using the urinal, he peed over his shoulder and directly into my mouth.
Favorite memory, just one summer. This would be our schedule. We'd go to bed in Tink's Palace, wake up, football, McGriddles, back here, surfs up, go to sleep, wake up, do it again.
Pee was all over the place.
When we went to go see the Justin Bieber movie.
Ruined my hat. Not a good day.
Okay, one of my favorite memories of Jenna is actually just a few years ago, when she was a senior and I was actually graduated, and only had a part-time job. We would stay up late every night watching Gossip Girl on Netflix till like 1, sometimes 2 in the morning, and my mom would get really mad, and so she'd come and check in on us and like tell us to go to bed, and that Jenna had to get up for school early and she wasn't getting enough sleep. And so we would always like turn off the lights so she couldn't tell we were still awake, and we'd watch like 5 episodes a night. And so one night we forgot to turn off the light, and so I was going to turn the light off on the fan, and right as I was doing it, my mom like flings open the door and she just like quietly is like, toast. And me and Jenna just thought it was the funniest thing ever because she totally caught us red-handed.
One night, not long ago, I was wakened by Keaton asking me to scoot over so he could crawl into bed with me. Being very tired and slightly confused, I did, and he quickly went under the covers and we spooned through the night. That's one night I'll never forget, no matter how hard I try.
I have lots of memories with her. We've been best friends like a whole life. But probably we used to make like the silliest videos and record them. If you ever want to see embarrassing stuff, come to me. We have like singing videos, but there is one night that we got in trouble from Aunt Sherry because we stayed up all night watching Anastasia rewinding to some silly part where a leopard like winks its eyes, and we don't even like see that spot when we watch the movie now, so I don't know why it was so funny then, but that's one of the funnest memories with her.
So Keaton was at a fathers and sons outing, and in the middle of the night he discovered that he needed to use the restroom. So he gets up, and for the life of him he could not get that zipper open. Being the determined little boy he was, he strategically used the restroom in one of the corners of the tent. Little did Keaton know the tent was on a slant, and downward of that slant was his cousin Michael, leaving him soaked to the core while Keaton was dry.
A favorite memory that I have of Keaton is when we were playing games out in the front yard with him and Jennifer and some friends. And when Jennifer went inside, he said, "Good, Jennifer's gone," and let a big one rip.
Well, me and Jenna have known each other forever, and we did cheer in 9th grade together. And when we were there, we were doing cheer at Arizona Heat, and Jenna has a really weak bladder, and so she's tumbling across the floor, totally pees her pants, and we're all just like kind of staring at her like, "Jenna, what the heck?" So that was pretty embarrassing.
My memory of Jenna is she's the only daredevil in the family of the kids. So that's from the Van Leuven side, not the Shumway side. And so all the things that we do together, camping, riding quads, motorcycles, Disneyland, she steps up to the plate like, "I'll do it," and everybody else is too scared. So that's my memory of her, as she's more of my side of the adventure side.
I was thinking of a memory about Keaton, and the one that I thought of was when we were in probably 5th or 6th grade. We used to go out to Barrows all the time from the Shaker house. It's just a few blocks, and we were crossing the street, and we were stopped on Brown and Gilbert, and we're all standing, there's probably 5 or 6 of us, and we were stopped at the red light, and I thought it'd be super funny to pants Keaton, to pants him. We were kind of in this phase where we like doing that, and so we were on the corner, and it didn't occur to me that like the pantsing him in public would be a bad idea, and I got his shorts and his boxers, and we were poor little 5th graders, and he stood naked on the corner for about 10 seconds in front of a whole lineup of cars, and a few people honked, and he was mad at me for about a week. So that's my first memory of Keaton.
My favorite memories of Keaton are many, but I would say that my absolute favorites were when he was playing football. At a young age he started, and I loved every minute of watching him play football. Oh look, I have all of his little jerseys here that he wore, and it was so fun for me to get to go watch him. But my favorite thing was when he would be this strapping young man down there on the field tackling people, and then off on the sideline he would wave at his mom, and that would make my whole week. Keaton is happy.
Inappropriate.
Manly.
Strange.
Unpredictable.
Agile.
Perfect.
Unathletic. Surprisingly.
Loyal.
Unloyal.
Clumsy. Sexy.
Unique.
Webbed. Finger.
Zipandiferous. Yeah, that's it.
Silly.
Organized.
Spoiled.
Go-getter and hilarious.
Sweet.
Bossy.
Unprocrastinator.
Hilarious.
Beautiful.
Oy.
You're either with us or against us.
Jen, as a shaker, you're just gonna have to learn to go with the flow.
Good luck. That's it.
Advice to Jim would be learn to let things roll off your back, because a lot of stuff will get thrown there.
Don't ever be offended about anything. I think you're going to hear a lot of things, and you'll probably hear some ridiculous things. And don't ever be offended or think that they don't like you, because it's all fun and games.
My advice to you, Jen, would be advice that I've given to many people that want to hang out with the Shakers. And I would just say choose not to be offended, because we can be offensive, unfortunately.
My advice for becoming part of the Shaker family would be to beat a Shaker, you have to become a Shaker.
He's gonna have to get at least a few guns if he wants to be a part of this family.
He has to learn how to make knives.
So my advice for you, Keaton, as you become part of the Van Leuven family, is to study up on Harleys. Maybe invest some money into some guns.
Okay, advice for Keaton is to have thick skin, because there's a lot of joking going on around this house, so definitely don't get your feelings hurt.
Buy a Harley Davidson.
Like the Shakers are already like this, but we just tease a lot.
When they go off on all their inside stories and inside jokes, just come be with me and Erin and don't feel left out. We'll have our own club.
Advice for Keaton for the family is be crazy, because us Shumways are crazy.
He needs to get a motorcycle so he can go on rides with the rest of the family.
Harley Davidson, guns, adventure.
Hey Keaton, you're not allowed to have a motorcycle.
Because Keaton's the biggest goofball and she's actually got a serious side to her, so it's like yin yang, all that stuff.
Jen is a good match for Keaton because Jen can tolerate Keaton.
She's accepted him the way he is, who he is, and how he is.
I think Jen's a good match for Keaton for a lot of different reasons. But on a serious note, I really think Jen seems like she's got her head on straight. And not that Keaton doesn't, but I think she definitely understands. She has a plan. I think she's organized. She knows what she wants. And I think she really gives Keaton a good foundation for what he needs. I think Keaton's a great kid, but he needs direction, and I think Jen has that. And she'll make sure that he stays on track.
I think that Jen is a good match for Keaton because it seems like her disposition is as level as Keaton's. I don't think either one of them are going to get mad, ever.
Trick question. They're not.
Okay, I would say Keaton's a good match for Jenna because it's obvious that he'll take care of her and that it's obvious that he really loves her. And sorry, I have these written down. Their personalities go really well together. They actually have really similar personalities.
Okay, I think that Keaton and Jennifer are a lot alike. They both seem to be motivated to get things done and accomplished.
Keaton's sweet and gentle.
Because he loves her.
Well, the first time I met Keaton, we went bowling, and I saw him, and I was like, that is a perfect match for Jenna. I just saw that they look good together, and they're just complete opposites, so they kind of fit each other. It works.
One thing I've noticed about Keaton is he's a go-getter. He's very motivated, and Jenna is also very motivated, so I can see them both going places and working well together.
I think they will go well together because they are always joking around and having fun together, and you can tell that they're really happy when they're with each other.
Keaton's pretty good with his money, so he won't let her be spoiled.
I think Keaton is a good match for Jenna because I've been best friends with Jenna like my whole life, but I've never seen Jenna laugh and be as happy as she is now.
Who's Keaton? I thought she was marrying Jacob Brimwall.
Oh, Jennifer, you're going to have a hard time with Keaton not being able to wake up to his alarm in the morning. He's never woken up to his alarm in the morning. He sets his alarm every night, but he never wakes up to it in the morning. It'll go off for an hour, but you'll still have to tell him it's going off, so I apologize for that.
Has she heard about the sleepwalking?
Holding hands with that web finger of his.
Him spending all of his time with me.
Probably the biggest challenge she's going to have to get over with Keaton is his habit of wanting to spoon with his little brother.
It might be hard for Jen to get used to being married to the favorite child because we all know that Keaton's the favorite. So Jen, you're like second best.
One thing for certain Jen will have a hard time getting used to with Keaton is that sooner or later he will pee on you.
Keaton's gonna have to get used to Jennifer being spoiled.
Don't wake her up. She's really violent. One time she hit me, grabbed my arm. So watch out for that. Okay, I think the biggest thing that Keaton will have to get used to about Jen is how impatient she is. When she wants something done, she wants it done right then and there. And if you don't have an answer, she's frustrated. And it's kind of hard to get used to when you're really relaxed or you just don't want to deal with it right then. She'll bug you like every day, every hour.
She does like to watch shows and go shopping.
Keaton will have to get used to Jenna being a woman and living with her because he's never lived with one woman in his life, so yeah.
Okay, one thing to get used to for Jenna is she is always the first one to go to sleep. She says at sleepovers that she's going to stay up all night with you, but then by like 9 o'clock she's out, so.
They look like they're pretty used to each other already.
Keaton is going to be a great husband because he is extremely loyal. He will have your back and take care of you no matter what you're going through.
He knows how to work, but he also has a very loving side to him.
If Keaton were my husband, and I've thought about this a lot, I think what would make him a good husband is that I'd feel safe around him. He would be able to protect me.
He's very hardworking.
He's very patient and a good spooner.
Something that's going to make Keaton the best husband is something that I've seen is Keaton is extremely loyal. I think Keaton, no matter who it is or what it is, when he's committed to something, he's extremely loyal to them or to that thing.
I think what will make Keaton a good husband is, I think he's a good brother, and the way he treats his siblings and his mother is usually how you treat your wife. I think he's going to be phenomenal.
Jennifer will be a good wife because she was raised by Mary Sherry Poppins. Nearly perfect in every way, and so she got a lot going for her.
Okay, I think what will make Jenna a good wife is that, one, she's really good at housework. She likes to clean, she's organized. Two, she's going to school, so she's really dedicated and diligent in her work, and so she'll also be able to help support the family. And then three, just you can see how much she loves and cares for Keaton.
There are so many things that will make Jenna a good wife. I mean, she can cook, and you know, she's motivated, and she will just always be nice and say yes.
Jenna will always say yes.
She cooks really good. Lots of food.
Sweet, and she'll be a really good mother.
One thing that's going to make Jenna a good wife is that she really cares how you feel. And she doesn't get mad very easy, because I've definitely given her reasons to get mad at me. But she's very kind and doesn't get mad and cares how others feel.
A great thing that Jennifer will be as a wife is loving, because she's a very loving person, and I can already see how much she adores and loves Keaton, and they will have a happy marriage.
Okay, my marriage advice for Jenna and Keaton would probably be communication is key, because as we've already figured out, sometimes if you don't communicate on everything, things are easily misunderstood or assumed, and then it just makes a bigger deal of things that were so simple in the beginning.
The secret to a happy marriage, in my opinion, is to choose your battles carefully. I have chosen several.
Marriage advice, I would say maybe let each other have your own likes and opinions, because you don't always have to like the same things, and you don't always have to like what the other person likes. Yeah, like
We had to figure that one out.
we did have to figure that one out, so that's a good one. Can you say hi?
Alright, so my advice for Keaton is, since I'm an expert in all being married for a week, the only thing we've experienced so far is our honeymoon. And I think that's my advice. You know.
For advice for a new couple is, I would say, if you ever do get into any arguments or have any difficulties, don't talk about it to anybody else. Just talk about it between the two of you.
Listen, someone's gonna tell you, don't go to bed angry. But I think sometimes that's the answer. Just go to bed, and in the morning you forgot why you were even mad.
Let him always be right. Always, and then you can correct it later, but let him be right when it's happening. That's most important. And I'll tell the kids later, I says, that wasn't right. But he's happy, so that's what makes the difference. Now he's listening. Go to bed with a hug and a kiss and prayers.
One thing that has a happy marriage is to always have prayer together at the end of the day, and try to not to go to bed mad with one another over something that's happened during the day.
I would tell a newlywed to always hug and kiss before going to bed, even if you're mad at each other, because you won't be mad by morning.
My advice for a happy marriage for Keaton and Jennifer would be to laugh. Just laugh. Hysterically, just
One of my favorite grandsons, Keaton, is getting married, and
I found that the most important things in a marriage is trust and religion. With those both kept in mind, the marriage can never fail. The only advice I can give to Keaton is to quit being selfish and give me his black book now that he's engaged.
My advice for a happy marriage is I take it from the brethren that I've always heard them say when they've ever counseled and said that they've had couples in for marriage counseling. They always ask them the basic question: are you reading your scriptures? Are you praying? Are you doing family home eating? Are you just doing the basics? And that's where you start, and I think they've counseled that if you're doing those, then you shouldn't have problems with your marriage.
My advice for a newly wed couple would be not to try to change each other, accept that person the way they are and change by example if you do want to change them.
I don't have very much advice since I'm a newlywed, but the one thing I would say is it's okay to go to bed mad at each other because you don't want to say mean things to each other, but I do always kiss my husband goodnight even if I'm mad at him.
I think as couples, we need to always overlook the downfalls that we see in each other and just look for the positives and bring out the positives in each other.
Well, let's see, what did we argue about? We didn't argue.
How come? What do you think
I've
kept
had
you
all
from
these years
arguing?
to forget.
What do you think kept you from arguing? How come you didn't argue?
Because I was married to such a happy-hearted man.
So maybe that's your advice?
Yeah. Have a happy heart.
What I love about Jennifer is that she's always very thankful for even just the very little things that I do. If I get her a glass of water or anything, she'll say thank you. And she's always been very supportive of me in my life decisions. Anything I feel like I need to do, she always says okay. And I've never had to be anybody else around here. I've always been able to be 100% myself, and she loves me still.
Sky or a beautiful sunrise. Well, there's so much they hold, and just like them old.
What I love about Keaton, besides his good looks, is he treats me like a queen. He always puts me number one. He's gonna be the best father because he'll be such a good provider for us. And he's really funny, and he makes me laugh all the time.
Even the stars, they burn. Some even fall to the earth. We got in line to learn. God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.